The Good Life by Tracy K. Smith. When some people talk about money, they speak as if it were a mysterious lover who went out to buy milk and never came back. And it makes me nostalgic for the years I lived on coffee and bread, hungry all the time, walking to work on payday, like a woman journeying for water from a village without a well. Then living 1 or 2 nights like everyone else on roast chicken and red wine.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Endings. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks, and that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. Welcome back, everyone, to Desperate Attune and the House of Endings.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Yes, with me are 3 of the 4 players who I sometimes forget to introduce, but let's introduce them now. Hello, Tree.
I was going to say something very odd, but unfortunately, it has been such a long day that instead, I will give you this preamble. Do with it what you will.
Yeah, good. Hello, Aadiyat.
Oh, yeah, yes. Hello. I'm doing it with it what I will.
Yes.
I'm not sure what it is.
And hello, Zoheb.
I'm doing something with it and you won't like it.
Very good. That's sort of an intro. Last session, we attended a traditional Skovlander holiday and made some chili.
We did something
and-
with that holiday that they didn't like.
Yes,
but we did what we will. So.
Yes, you did what you will indeed. Actually, everyone was kind of fine with it. So one of the flatbread uncles, Uduasha's resident food mafia, was catering an event, which serious business. You attended the event, and Shankarabharanam masterfully poisoned the chili. Not poison it, but he ruined the flavor of it. Actually, poison is entirely the wrong word. He ruined the chili by putting leeches in it. And they were very disappointed with this, but not with you. Also, Bidri, he challenged the cook to a duel and soundly thrashed him after having hit him with a boot. He impressed his rival, Jackal of the Skovlander gang, who had arranged this whole party. And the grand result of this, the reason why you did it, was to save Morphis, your tea guy, from being beaten up for his lunch money. So now you have tea and snacks for days, because Morphis, the tea vendor, is in your debt. And this is an arrangement that works out for him still, because even though you guys get tea for free now, he gets the benefit of getting to hang out on your property and sell tea to other people without having to pay rent. So it's a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Yes, and he's not in our debt. We waive his debt entirely.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Who here would say otherwise?
No,
Exactly.
that was a deal. Free tea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, you can waive the debt all you want. He's still going to give you free tea.
Yeah.
He can afford it. You're just 4 people. He's not giving it to any of your students or anyone affiliated with you. So, he can still make profit here.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, the others aren't people.
Mhm.
Literally, they aren't real.
So, that's basically where we wrapped up. The last thing we did was we went to payoff. And yeah, the payoff was basically some improved faction status and some money, I think. And a cool reputation.
Oh, yeah.
And also you got the flatbread uncles off your back, which is important. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. I think that's what we did.
Did we talk about Jackal?
Jackal was very impressed with
Yes.
Bidruhi. Yes.
Very important. Thank you.
Yes.
Mm.
And was presented with a real rose, and there was some emotion, unusually for her.
Mhm.
To be clear, where does Bidrohi get his supply of fresh flowers?
I'm glad you asked.
Yes,
I'm not.
I have been eager to find out, but I would love to
Okay.
find out in play when it becomes
Yes.
relevant.
Okay,
Exactly.
you know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
It's about to become relevant because Saida is about to ask Bidrohi, where do you get your fresh flowers from? But
Yes.
let's wait for that to happen.
Uh-huh.
There are
So,
many mysteries about Bidruhi.
Yes. Just to be clear here, what we are doing now is we are in downtime, but there is also an entanglement. So there is a complication that will come up at some point during this downtime. But we will start this session on relatively mellow free time for our protagonists. And so we may as well start, I suppose, with Saida asking Bidruhi about his flowers. Why not? There's
Lovely.
no pressing issues going on.
Listen, okay,
So I
just before you frame that scene, I'm going to let you know I have 2 level 2 harms and 2 level 1 harms. And if this is the
Yes.
first thing you want to talk to me about, well, that's on you.
Yes, okay, that's fine.
You live.
I also I just remembered that I have an advance, and I was thinking of taking Savage, but actually I'm going to take Bodyguard, but I'm going to rename it Loyal Vizier because I just love the idea. So yeah, when I protect a teammate, I'll take an extra die to my resistance roll. When I gather info, I'll get an extra effect.
Okay.
That's because I'm a loyal Vizier who is always looking out for my king, the house, the king of lies, and also like the other people, I guess. But it's because I'm such a I would never dare betray anybody.
I would point out that you would never dare betray anybody, but your loyalties are split 3 ways now between
Yes.
Salman, the king of lies, your prince of endings, the god that you're making, and also the crew. So,
This is some advanced
no,
Pascal's
4
gambit.
ways.
yes.
Yeah, 4 ways because the demon that's still in me thinks I'm loyal to it, even though I'm not.
yeah.
But it's a demon,
Oh, yeah.
so maybe
5 ways. 5 ways. What about mangoes?
Oh yeah, and mango.
Shit.
Yeah, okay.
You know what?
So you're
I actually have no. I have no problems with loyalties. I know exactly what I'm loyal to. It's mine.
so in sum, say they're stuck between Pascal's wager and Rocco's basilisk.
Oh my god! Yeah, Pascal's Rocco. That's what they called it, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Yes. So yes, Bidruhi is very screwed up, and I mean, he's not so screwed up he can't walk, right? So I guess Bidruhi walks back to the lair with some. You were hit on the head, and you hurt your hand.
Wait,
Yeah.
sorry to interject, but why is he walking back to the lair? We were all there. We should be carrying him back like a hero.
You can carry him. I'm too
Yeah.
old for this stuff.
Absolutely carry Bidruhi like a hero.
Yeah, I'm carrying Mushfik's carrying Bidruhi on his shoulders.
So what you're saying is, my mom's going to see me being carried back in, like with the shit kicked out of me, carried by a bunch of Kethrisi and a bunch of Skovlanders.
Oh, I don't know if the Scotland is involved, but
Of course they are.
just
You made them chant my name.
Yes. So all I'm saying is Mushfik's gonna pick Bidruhi up, put him all. You know what they do, like you when you want a game, like like a tournament or something. You're sitting on Mushfik's shoulders while we're parading down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Normal.
Way beyond.
Does Alkader Ankhattam show up out of nowhere and start like leading the chant
Oh,
with wise aphorisms as though as a political rally.
I guess it is in character for Alkader. He tends to have a nose for these things. So sure, he turns up. He has no idea what you're celebrating or why, but he just kind of seamlessly blends into the crowd as he sees Sumithri carry the loft, and he announces the crowd with something like, "We are proud to see the achievements of my brother on this day, whose great achievement is me being his brother."
Oh, is that it?
I am very proud to call Alkader Sir my brother, but I will never call Alkader Sir my brother because he is my sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Alkader says, yes, see, this is why we hold him aloft and celebrate him, his humility.
Bidrohi will ponder the wisdom of this because
Yes.
within this seeming contradiction, it's like a Zen koan, isn't it?
Yes. Everything Alkader says is like a Zen koan, mostly accidentally.
Yes. And then he passes out, I guess, for a bit.
Yeah. So you are carried aloft, somewhat discombobulated, and so I guess you return to your mother's boarding house, accompanied by Alkader Ankhattam and his random gang of hanger-ons. And I think Moonlit Ankhattam, I think she has sort of soured on Alkader after his shenanigans. I believe this was established. If not, I'm establishing it now. She liked him well enough initially, but yeah.
I was going to ask, are Bald Murad and Pilot meeting us also there?
You didn't bring them on the score, did you?
No, they went to hit...
Oh, yeah, they went to...
What's his name's operation?
Yeah, they went to Rob Cutlet's butchery shop.
Yes.
Gonna show up with so many sausages.
Yes.
Oh, it's a feast! How exciting!
I think what they are going to turn up with is, yes, they are at the boarding house, and I guess they stole the food, so it's now...
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a hit on a butcher shop, what do? You steal all the meat, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they probably also stole, his
Yeah,
cash
I think we did get paid a little bit from the store, from the stash. Right? But yeah.
Yep. But yes, Pilot and Balmurad are celebrating with cartoonishly long rows of sausages.
Did we roll to see how well they did?
Yes.
We did.
And how well did they do?
They did okay. They got
5.
Yeah, they got a 5. So it wasn't a perfect success. And I think part of this, it was a fortune roll, so it wasn't like they were at risk. It's just how well did they do on their operation. They weren't really being at risk of being beaten up or anything because all of Cutlet's crew were with him. So
all right, that's okay. It's a 5. So no, like fine dry aged beef or anything like that. Well,
yeah,
dry aged beef. No, I don't think so.
No, that's what Mushfik says. He goes up behind them and he goes, "Oh, no dry aged beef, huh?"
Yeah, and Murad goes, no, but hey, check it out. It's he holds up a sausage. And he goes, it's got cumin in it, I think.
No. Mushfik knows that sausages. That's the lowest tier of meat. No, he wants the good stuff. Keep in mind, the vice isn't food; it's flavor.
Yeah, fair enough. So, yes.
Is Mushfik a steak guy? Is he like, oh, it's not medium rare, it's not food?
Yeah.
No.
So, I think Pilot taps you on the shoulder and holds up a container which he has brought. And I think the fine stuff, if you're looking for flavorful things, right, is not just the meat. It's like liver or something.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, now we're talking.
So yeah. So she has, knowing you, she has secured you the livers that he was selling this day.
Just I'm gonna give that that proud look. Just you get me.
Yeah.
Yet to say a word on screen, I see.
Yes.
Or here.
Yes. It
No,
wasn't intentional originally, but I think it's a
No,
funny
but
trait
it's
to the
happened
pilot
now.
that she
Yeah.
speaks very little. So instead of saying anything to Mushfik, she just presents him with I suppose it's like a plate full of livers. Obviously, she's prepared them, right? So it's like a plate of
Yeah.
fried liver with some vegetables.
Like a tiger, Shankarabharanam will defeat his enemies and feast on their flesh and entrails.
I'm gonna say that. Listen, if you ever need to, if you ever need a recommendation letter, I'd be happy to sign it.
Yeah.
Is this something
Mushfik?
Mushfik would say?
Yeah, but also, Mushfik,
I mean,
can you read?
isn't Bushwick technically one of the heads of this organization?
Yeah, technically. So, if any other street gang wants to hire you, I'll write a glowing recommendation for your resume.
Do we have a
He was
letterhead?
just watching this with like a look of like, oh, for fuck's sake, on faces, just like, why?
Yes. However, as Mushfik is being served his liver, I think Moonlit steps forth with her like rolling gait. She's a stout, large woman, and she's going to lift Bidruhi off the shoulders of whoever is carrying him, one of the celebrants. She's going to stare at Alkader and not even talking to Bidruhi. I think he asks him like, "What did you get him into this time?" And Alkader splays out his hands, and he says, "Oh, nothing. Nothing. I just wanted to elevate him after his great achievements in succeeding at excellence." He still doesn't know what you actually did.
I give a thumbs up.
Yeah. And yeah, your mother like sets you down and then pretty forcefully gets out. Oh yeah, she gets out the little green tube and starts to apply it to the like. I imagine you have like a small cut on your forehead where you were hit with a spearhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she is. I've forgotten the name of it now, but it's the stuff in the tube with the elephant. She's putting that on your forehead.
Oh god. Borolin?
Yes,
I was going to say tiger bomb, but then you said elephant, so I don't know.
Yes, it's Borlin I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's treating your cuts, you see.
Mm-hmm. A traditional Iruvian herbal remedy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
Ma, it. Oh, ouch! And I'm going to. I don't know. I'm going to be the spoiled son.
Yeah. She goes over your injuries, and then yeah. Rather than ask you anything, it's not really in character for her to ask you a lot of questions. She doesn't usually do that. Instead, I think she just barks at Alkader, and she goes like, "You got him into this. You get him a doctor." And Alkader steps back and begins to mumble some wise aphorism, and then she just stares him down, and he runs off to go get a doctor. Like, I like how he wasn't involved in this at all, but your mother 100% blames him now.
Yeah.
So.
And then I'll say, Ma, it was amazing. There was this guy called Cutlet. Stupid name. But this guy, Cutlet, with stupid name, he was making trouble for Mofisbai. You've met Mofisbai. Very nice man. He does the tea. Very good tea. And then what happened? I don't remember. Oh, yes, I remember. Yes. We beat him up. And now Mofisbai is making tea again. He says. And then he kind of closes his eyes and nods.
Yeah.
As he's trying to remember what exactly happened.
Yes. And she says slowly as he looks at you, she says, "Cutlet who runs the butcher's shop."
Yes, exactly. You know him very well. See, that's where all the dry-aged beef is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said dry-aged beef.
Yes. He nods, like, slowly, and I mean, he was together with Ramu the Golden, who did violence for a living, right? So she's not unfamiliar with this sort of thing. And so even though she worries for you, like she looks you in the eye, and I think what she asks you is not "Are you okay?" not like what happened, but she knows this person. So she looks you very seriously in the eye and she asks you, "Is he dead?"
No. It was a non-lethal fight, and he played a little dirty. But I beat him up. Now he's unconscious. I wouldn't like to kill him. I mean, if necessary, I would. But it wasn't necessary, ma. Totally beat his ass.
Yeah. She turns. I think the person she turns to in this situation is actually Saida.
This makes sense.
Yeah, and she looks at Saida and she says, she just asks you straightforwardly, "How much trouble are we in?"
And I think, unfortunately, these ties cut both ways because she takes Saida very seriously, and Saida cannot afford to piss her off. And so I think they kind of tilt their head as if thinking, assessing, and then they say, nothing avoidable. We have someone on the inside who will undermine him if it comes to that. But I suspect that some of our enemies may be about to take advantage of us. And then they look around them, being like, everybody's gonna notice that we're having a really good time, and when the downtrodden of the hospitality ghetto all come together and have a great time, that's when people go, oh, that can be my stuff now.
Yeah, absolutely. So she listens to this, she nods sagely, and then she turns to her tenants and she kind of raises her voice and she says, "Everyone, be sure to thank Mr. Alkader Ankhattam for his contributions." And she is just coldly pinning everything on him.
And I kind of raise, I yell Alkader, sir, and just kind of raise my fist in a fist bump. I don't know if anyone joins in this.
Yep.
In this cheer.
Yes, absolutely. You do this, and shortly thereafter, Alkader is going to return with a doctor. And assuming that you want to spend a downtime action recovering, you should roll now to see how good a doctor Alkader manages to fetch. Because
excellent. Okay.
Healing. So I think this is your first downtime action, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So you roll your tier. Actually, I suppose you can roll your tier +1 because Alkader is your crew's favorite contact, and he is helping.
We also have a healer as one of our contacts. Maybe this is the person they bring.
Yeah. Maybe it is. Let's see this roll.
Yeah, this person's name is. Yeah, their name is Paulomi.
Yeah. That was that was a person who healed Mushik.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that happened. I forgot about Paulomi.
Yes, Paulomi has been on screen indeed as a priest of the Hungering One. However, you roll terribly, so you don't get Paulomi. Yeah, what makes sense to me is he comes back. Yeah, I suppose so. Kethris has a lot of swamps. He comes back with a guy with leeches. Like a literal leech. So a weird smelling old man staggers in, holding a jar full of leeches, and goes, "Well, let's take a look at you. Yes. Lie down. We'll draw all the injuries out. You said, your friend said you were assaulted by a bear."
Oh no.
No, I don't think he's part of the lifestyle.
Oh. Well, not to worry. The infection can be gotten out by... where did I leave my other lifestyle leeches?
He brought the alternative lifestyle leeches. Now he has to.
Yes, I brought the lifestyle leeches.
Yeah, and I think Bidrohi is actually he's pretty. As soon as the leeches come out, he's like, "Oh, and what's this one's name?" He's very interested in the personal habits of these leeches.
Yeah,
but they didn't do shit for him because
no. So this confused old man puts some leeches on you. He's a literal leech. He is people harvest them back in Kethris. I don't even know if leeches are part of Kethrisi traditional medicine or if people just hang out there because there are a lot of leeches, and maybe doctors come from other traditions to just pick them up there. Either way, this guy has leeches, and he's going to try to heal your wounds with them, and he's not going to be terribly successful.
And then I'll be like, listen, you tried your best, sir, and I very much appreciate it, and it was really, really cool hanging out with Esmeralda and Lucy. And
so I guess you named the leeches. Very good.
And he's just nodding along, I guess. He was like, these are good names.
Yeah.
And then I just fall asleep in the middle of naming them.
Okay.
Yes.
And he looks at Alkader and says, well, he'll be right as rain by the next full moon, assuming he doesn't die first.
With 2 genders.
Yes.
Full moon and death. You're correct.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to try to heal again, but I'm happy to do that a bit later if the narrative's been in progress.
I think this sort of scene ends here, right? I think we're transitioning into a longer time skip.
Yes.
And yeah, we've seen Moonlit's kind of like she spoils you. Evidently, she is not as harsh as you and maybe she should be, except on some things.
Listen, there's a reason I am like this, right?
Yes. Yeah. But she is definitely concerned. And so I think what we will see as time passes is that she is going to fortify the boarding house. Because, I mean, she's also in the hospitality industry, right? And she knows the flatbread uncles. For once, she actually knows who you've gotten entangled with. And so she will express her worry a little bit by like putting up some extra boards on the windows. And
board up the boarding house.
Yeah, board up the boarding house. And just be prepared in case there is trouble, talk to the neighbors, etc.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so, shall we go ahead with Bidruhi's next downtime action? Is that just to recover under your mother's care, perhaps?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's do that. I'll also be taking extra downtime actions either way, regardless of how this goes. Yep. So this makes sense to do it with the narration already established. Is this just the tier?
Yeah, this is just the tier.
Okay. Can't even bring Polome in?
I guess you could, yeah.
They aren't like a favorite contact. I don't remember how we're handling this. Like
usually,
their cost.
When you call repeatedly on someone who isn't a favorite contact, then yes, there is a cost. So she is a practitioner of healing, physical, emotional, spiritual, and a priest of the hungering one. We have not seen very much about the hungering one's ideology here, but they run like soup kitchens and stuff. They feed people, at least the less sinister of their ranks do. So I think she will turn up and she will treat you, but if you want the bonus dice from her, she's going to demand a favor from your mother.
Make it hurt. Very good.
Very good. Fair enough. Wow.
It's another 2 in 1.
What are the chances?
I remember Prince saying, it's just like a bunch of harm. It's like, 2 recovery actions?
Yeah. Well, you can also be really unlucky. Don't blame me. I'm not the dice.
I'll do it again. Spending money.
Okay, so just to highlight what happens here as an outcome of this, so we can have it on record and written down. What she is going to ask for, actually, is for your mother to use her boarding house to serve the poor of the hospitality ghetto. This is actually pretty bad from your mother's paranoia point of view, because now she has to let in a bunch of strangers into her recently fortified home. So,
okay. I suppose that explains why it cost me money to do this next time. So I'm going to do it now. And it's like, okay, I will. I mean, I'm definitely. I want to, pick up some of the costs and so on. Like, I mean, you can let me help with that. I say, and then, behold.
Now you roll a 6.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, so I bump down level 1 harms. All go away. Level 2 harms become level 1 harms.
Yep.
And I'll rename them. But yes, I'm looking better.
You are a little bit roughed up still, but yes, some rest and recovery and some time simply passes. And yeah, I think a thing that happens here is that Moonlit now has two projects at once that contradict each other. One of them is making sure that the boarding house is safe from enemy spies and or saboteurs, and the other one is running a soup kitchen. And
Yes.
like, you know, it's not like she has to supply the food for free for people. It's just that the Temple of the Hungering One has been looking for a place in the hospitality ghetto for them to hand out free food, and now they're using this place to do it, which means that a lot of strangers come and go in close proximity to your lair.
Mm-hmm. Are there any tensions with the fact that now it's not just a soup kitchen? Like, I guess the priests of the Hungering One are also getting involved, and I don't know how they feel about us.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have good contacts with this one woman, right? But
Mhm.
the priests, I mean, they're here to. Let's be clear. When priests run soup kitchens, very often they expect to proselytize in the process, right? And they absolutely are. The Hungering One is not much followed among the Kethrisi population,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's not that they directly dislike you, but they are going to try to take up your attention and your time. And I don't know that they much approve of the idea of a sword school, to be honest.
Yeah. I actually know what I'm going to do for my first downtime action. So,
Okay.
I want to request something from the others. We are like almost done with this clock for the training grounds. Can we finish that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
To benefit me.
You are welcome.
Yep.
I am going to. My first downtime action is that we have prowess training, which is very funny because I'm never going to train prowess. I'm going to train insight. The way that I'm training insight here is that as people come in and go, I'm observing them. I'm paying attention to these people who are. In fact, it's not even like the Kethrisi, right? I'm paying attention to these priests.
Yep. Okay.
And the reason this is important is that if I get one more XP in insight, then I can use the 4 XP I have left over from last session to get a dot in survey. Because I would also like to gather information to anticipate possible threats in the current situation. The current situation being there's a soup kitchen in Moonlit's boarding house.
Yep. Okay. So how we'll treat this is that training is a downtime action.
Yeah.
Fair and square. What you then roll is not a downtime action because it's actually a gather information on your next score.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And survey makes sense here, right? Because
yeah.
I think like 3 dice in study is fun, but like it makes study overpowered. But it's nice to like kind of branch out also.
Yeah, and survey makes sort of more sense here. You're surveying the wider situation, so.
Yeah, sense trouble before it happens. It says so that kind of makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, so it's only 1 die, but I get +1 effect, so I'm guaranteed somewhat good information regardless, right?
Very good.
So 1 die. It's a 4, which becomes a 6.
Oh yeah, and you get +1 effect because of your bodyguard ability, because of your vizier thing. That actually makes a lot of sense, I think. So, what you're going to overhear is you spot some of the priests who are clearly like, most of the priests are just here to run a soup kitchen and to proselytize, but some of them are also here gathering information.
Yep.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yep.
One of them says, as they're sitting down, they're on some sort of like a smoke break, maybe.
Yeah. There's a bunch of now that it's a soup kitchen. There's always a bunch of old aunties and uncles smoking a hookah outside the boarding house, which is also annoying for Moonlit, I imagine.
And so one of them just says, "Hey, these people are from Kethris, right, way out east. Yeah. Wonder if they have any connection to that Vidaha lady. You know, she's been talking to the houses about, I don't know precisely, something about a heritage, and I don't know, she was planning to get married to some guy, I think." What, a Kethrisi? And the first guy goes, yeah, no, a Kethrisi lady, one of their, they have noble families over there as well. don't judge them all like this. Yeah, she was going to get married to some guy called Salman.
Ah.
And what you learn here is that Videha is the woman who was the originally intended recipient of
the passport that we stole. Yeah.
Yes, of the passport that you stole, that she was going to use to marry into one of the noble families once she had it. And it turns out that the person she had her eyes on was Salman. Because of course.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Listen,
Very good.
we helped her dodge 2 bullets. We helped her
Yes.
dodge a bullet in 2 different ways.
Yes. You sort of did. But what you've learned here from your result, that is a 6, is not only is she looking into the matter, like poking around into it, what you will also learn from this conversation with your extra effect here is that House Ankayat is still looking for Salman. They haven't stopped searching for their lost scion, and she's helping them.
Yeah. All of this makes great sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is reasonably stressful.
Yep.
And I hate it. So the second thing that I'm going to do is I learn all this. I don't really mention it to anybody yet, but I'll probably do it in the next couple of days. I am going to go fishing, and this time I don't mean meet the king. I don't mean talk to my friend Shadiyar, who's like a weirdo. No, I mean I'm going to take a fishing rod and some tackle, and I'm going to sit on the jetty, and I'm going to fish and try not to think about anything, because everything is awful. So for my second downtime action, I'm just going to indulge my wish.
Very good.
And I got 2 5s, and I have 5 stress, so that's perfect.
It's a lovely time fishing. You are down at the Ruby Jetty. You watch the beautiful people mingle in the actual club called the Ruby Jetty across the waters. But for once, it is a lovely still day in Uduasha at the reservoir, and you catch some fish. Not too many fish, and you meditate on the the ripples in the water, and that's all you do.
It's so nice sometimes to just do things.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I also have some more downtime actions to do, including consecration. But for now, that's me.
Okay. Shall we see Mushfik's default downtime actions then?
Yeah, it's okay. First of all, I think Mushfik needs to get rid of some stress. Perfect time because I'm at 6.
Yep.
I don't think we need to dwell on this too much. Just kind of go to
I think
all...
we can just flash back to the time you were eating the liver, right? I think that's suitable.
Beautiful.
So let's see how good the liver dish is.
All right. Don't let me down, Cutlet. All right. Still about 3.
That's
3.
bad.
It's all right.
Only 6. Yeah, it turns out Cutlet, I mean, he caters to Bundervest. He does not cater to gourmands. So
yeah.
it's good, but it's not it's not a fantastically prepared dish.
Yeah. And for my next downtime action, I will see about those training grounds. All right, consecrating the training grounds.
Oh yeah, let's see how Shankarabharanam consecrates the training ground. I'm hyped.
All right, let me think.
Make biryani.
What?
I can think of nothing more holy.
Make biryani?
Yeah, in the training ground. Can you imagine? I don't know.
How? What's the most Shankarabharanam way to consecrate the training ground?
So far, just to recap what we've done here, we have built a shrine to Ramu and then torn it down, and then Saida has performed some movements, some sacred movements in this space.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. When I rolled on this for other actions. When I described that, I didn't roll for it, and that was deliberate because some of the shit that Saida's doing is just nonsense. It doesn't work. Right? So this thing about throwing the water in the air and then cutting it, whatever, it's bullshit.
Yeah. The goal of consecrating the training grounds was what? Remind me.
Remind me too. This was a while ago.
Yeah, I think it was Bidruhi that started this project. Was it to get supernatural protection for the place?
No, it's to get playbook advancement. Training playbook.
Training playbook, yes. It is a
Yes.
training advancement. There we go.
Yes.
So it is to make. It's less about consecrating it and more about actually having a training ground where you can practice esoteric art along with your students.
Okay.
I think it's not just about fencing for just the sake of fencing. We invest in it as like a spiritual exercise as well.
Right. So far, Saida made, as in your own words, some movements and Bitrohi tore down a shrine.
Yeah.
Is that it? And
Pretty
so,
much.
and
Bidrohi also, when Saida told Bidrohi about the Mad Prince of Endings thing, Bidrohi did also talk to Mr. Khattam.
Yeah.
And then that also, and he rolled for consecration then also. So, apparently talking to Mr. Khattam counts.
Yeah, and actually the very first thing, this may be relevant to Mushfik actually, the very first thing was to chase away some thugs that were being scary outside so that Morphis dared to sell chai here to begin with.
There were like some drug addicts in the neighboring area.
I mean, what it seems like to me is that the obvious thing for Mushfik to do, and is a boring thing to do, is that a lot of people have come here and they've danced and they've built and torn down shrines, but no one has actually made a training yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got to get in some practice dummies, you know, actually I don't know, flatten up part of the ground, or actually not flatten, actually create obstacles, maybe put in, essentially make a kind of outdoor gym, kind of not a gym, but he's actually got to put the equipment in.
Makes sense, because the training ground has been we acquired the training ground, as it were, by chasing the drug dealers off. Then we consecrated it in 3 different ways, and now we just have to finish making it.
Yeah. I think it makes perfect sense. So I think that what you're doing is either it's a lifestyle role to just see how fancy stuff you can afford.
Maybe it's tier.
Yeah. Or it can be lifestyle, it can be tier, or I think if it is an action, the closest action is probably survey to just figure out what needs doing. So I'll leave it up to you whether you want to survey or roll with your lifestyle.
I think, given the fact that Mushfik has been in a kind of sword school before, right? Before in Ketris, he has a pretty good idea of what he needs. The question is, can he find it, or what quality he can find?
Lifestyle or tier makes sense then.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. I'll just roll the cruise tier because it's not just him, right?
Makes sense.
And okay, so 3.
So it's a 3, so 1 tick on this clock, which is not enough to finish it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Clock is plaguing us since session 2.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's everyone's free downtime actions. You can spend some cash.
Yeah, I think actually, what is going to happen is that, so we're not able to afford very much, right? It's kind of embarrassing, and the reason I'm saying this is that I think we're going to lose a rep, because I'm going to spend a rep to work on this again, and I think what happens is that it is, we go out and we bring some dummies, and they're clearly they're used practice dummies, which is the worst kind of dummy in a way, right? And so I think, as this happens, as Saida watches this, they will go up to Mushfik, pull him aside and say, this is embarrassing. You can see that this is embarrassing, right?
Trust me, I'm not used to working under these circumstances.
Yeah. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Mushfik, I'm going to take our cohort. I'm going to do something that traditionally we've avoided doing, but is unavoidable now, which is we're going to threaten some people out of some supplies. I think what we're going to do is maybe go into Golempith, find some someone who looks a bit he can be pushed around, she won't take she will just let us do it. If we've got quality weapons, our cohort's elite thugs, between Mushfik and me, we can surely do something, right?
Okay. Sure. So are you rolling command? Are you intimidating personally?
I think it's command.
Okay. Straightforward devil's bargain for you. 2 heat. this does raise some hackles around the
Yeah,
city, so you can take 2 heat for a bonus die.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And like we are noticeable, and B, people take it really badly when people who are not in power go around threatening other people.
Yep, absolutely done. I've added 2 heat to take a bonus dice. You you can intimidate someone into making the stuff you want for you, but it'll draw some attention.
Yeah.
Also, you're still paying a rep for this, so.
Yeah, I did pay a rep. Yeah, and it's a 6,
and you
which is
need the
very
nice
fun.
bargain.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Basically, you become known as a bit of an asshole to work with, I think, is the.
Yeah, which I think, you know what, that was always true of Saida anyway, so I think it's very reasonable.
It's one of those, like, someone you go, like, you better work for me, and you don't even pay them. And so,
Hey, kid.
a lot of reps, I think, for this reason, they just get screwed.
I think, like we overflow by 1 tick, but to be honest, I don't even know where I would put that tick if I could, so it's fine.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an idea for what happens next then. I'm going to take my first personal playbook training. And the form that this takes is Alkader Ankhattam is invited to do a speech at the Rising Moon Sword School about what it means to be Tracy and all that.
I'm begging you not to do this.
No, it's
I'm
happening.
falling at your feet. I like just anything is better than.
Actually, one thing that I'm curious about. Sorry, Aadiyat, you finish first, and then I'll
I was saying, yeah, I am actually saying yes, do this because Mushfiq will not like this at all, and that'll be fun.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, one of the things that I'm really interested in is that so Alkader Ankhattam is a man of the people. He is a pillar of the community. All of these things. Obviously, he's also 100% idiot.
Yes.
But I'm curious to see if there's like maybe it turns out he's like 95% idiot, and maybe there's 5% that actually is worth something. And this is his thing, right? So I'm actually very curious to see like what he actually has to say.
Okay, so you want me to just improvise a speech by Alkader Ankhattam?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can do the bullet points. It's up to you. But
yes.
Mhm.
So
will you
absolutely
please? Yeah, but I want to know what he's wearing.
Oh yes,
of course. So Alkader turns up, and let's weave this into the whole. He has been maintaining contact with Pritichandra Vidaha, whose legacy he stole initially.
Yes, absolutely.
And so he will be here, and he is like good at holding speeches, but he is a little bit compromised because, and so I think, let's say he holds the speech first, and then he will ask some questions because he's entangled in this as well. But he will turn up, and he will be wearing very nice clothes, like he has his hair combed over with some, what's the word? The product in it. I lose the word now. Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he wears a vest. This is his thing.
Yes.
And I think this is a highly patriotic vest, but it is also one that he has had. I mean, we know that he has a personal tailor that he shares with Bidruhi. And so he has customized this. It's subtle, but people who know it notice it. He has customized it with, I think, the patterns of the Kethrisi gentlemen. So it's kind of an odd, he's deliberately looking a little bit like the nobility from back home, which is an odd situation to be in because you're not necessarily fans of them, but it's in such a way that only people actually familiar with fashion would be able to read the statement, which fortunately most peasants can't.
I greet him.
Fortunately for him, Saida is also not the kind of person who pays attention to fashion. So they're not going to slap him across the face.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I notice. I greet him. I'm at the door standing with my hands on my hips and I say, "Sir, you are looking both bombastic and fantastic."
Thank you. Thank you, brother Bidruhi. I am glad to be here at this great day of opening this this training ground. I know that both you and I have been facing stormy weather, but it's going to be all right, my friend. Are you feeling better? Did the leeches do you any good?
Thank you very much for the leeches. They were excellent company, and I learned a lot.
Ah, yes.
I'm not going to lie to him, but I'm not going to tell him the truth.
Yes, my friend. Every situation like this is an opportunity to learn. I'm most proud of you. I do have to go hold my speech, but just real quick. An acquaintance of mine is wondering whether you know a fellow by the name of Salman.
No.
You're not going to lie to him. Yeah.
It-
He says,
well, arguably, he's not a fellow. Okay.
yeah. Arguably.
Instead of standing there like, no. And I don't know how good of a judge of character he is. I suppose he might actually secretly be a bit. But
Yeah.
I think the only suspicious thing about this is that I just say no. Instead of,
Yeah.
no, what are you? Salman. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I know Mary Salmans.
Yeah. So he raises an
I know
eyebrow.
many some.
Yeah, he raises an eyebrow, and I think he understands the exact meaning of this. And so he actually takes you aside. I think this rather than the speech is where we see his 5% not idiot.
Okay.
And he says, "That is very good to hear, my friend. As you know, I've been pursuing a lady, and well, it turns out this fellow Salman, he is my romantic rival, you see, and so it's very good that you have not been involved with this fellow, as the lady is looking for him, and I would much rather she didn't find him," he says, and he smiles and winks.
So, in such a matter as this, you know that I am 100% on your side, okay? Fuck this Salman person, whoever he may be, just fuck him. I spit on his face. I will kick him if I ever see him. Not that I have seen him. I don't know who he is. I mean, like, it's just, there's many people like Salman, but all of them I will punch in the face if I ever see, so that you are not thwarted in the course of your love. By the way, who is this person that you're courting?
Well, you know.
Oh, yes, I remember. I remember now. Yes. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Let's not openly say her name for respect of the lady. Let's not try to bring any scandal about. He says, but yes, he is still pursuing his idea of like, yes, this noble lady from Kethris. I'm going to try to seduce her somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the details.
And sir, do you? I mean, you are scratching my back, and I'm very happy to also scratch your back. I know a thing or two about romance and ways the heart and all these sorts of things. If you want, I can always be here to give you tips and tricks. No, not tricks. That's manipulative. Just tips.
Ah, yes. Tips, he says, and he nods sagely. You know, perhaps I could benefit from this. We'll talk about it after I hold my speech, but brother, there may be an opportunity for us both in here. Yes.
Sir?
Alkader is totally going to pull you guys into a score again.
Excellent.
Man.
And I think like before he goes to his speech, I say, sir, I am very honestly excited to hear what you have to say, because between you and me, I have really been thinking lately about, what it is, what does it mean to be this, Kethracy? What does it mean to be Kethracy here? What can we do? Because, ours, it's not just the sword school. It's just all about making sure the Kethracy people are safe. But I've never been, unlike, you have been there, you've lived there. I have never been. So for me, it's like I'm protecting something, but I don't know it myself. It's a tricky situation.
Yep.
And I'm learning from everyone what it means, And I think Vidra is actually being vulnerable here.
Yeah. He nods and he says, yes, our identity is a complicated thing, and I don't know if I can give a simple answer, but I'm going to go up there on that stage, little brother, and I'm going to try.
No, sir. If it is complicated process, then you should only give complicated answers. I think if you give simple answers, then you will miss details that are in fact very important. No?
Wow, is this character development?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Is this incompatible with what you've seen of Bidrohi so far? I put it to you.
Yes and no. Okay,
You
wonderful.
stole his shoe for a laugh? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah, please go on.
Yes.
Yeah. So he will take the stage, I guess, and he looks out and says, "Friends, countrymen, people, we are far from our home out east, and some say we have been disconnected from our root. Well, I say we are more than our roots. We are more than the mangroves. The core identity we bear is Kethracy, not keepers of the trees. They are important to us, many of us. They are the faith that sustains us. But here, in this sword school, this rising moon sword school, we prove something else. We prove that being Kethracy is not about being a farmer. No, it is not about tending to the trees. We are a complicated people. However, what this school proves is there will be no compromise with evil forces, no matter the shape they take. And he will go on, do a long speech. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but he launches into, basically problematizing the Kethracy identity, but remaining true to that there will be no compromise with evil forces.
Nice.
Mm.
Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And Bidra is not sure what to make of it, but he's going to think about it.
Clap, clap, clap. I'll tell you one thing. Mushfik's in the back, just rolling his eyes.
Yes.
Just like a tiger.
Yeah. And I think the point of the speech basically is that we will protect each other and ourselves. We are not going to let ourselves be bullied or pushed around. But also, there is this complicated idea there that not even other Kethracy can bully you, right? Like no one else can say who or what we are. So.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's the complex and nuanced point that Bidruhi evoked in him by talking about this.
Yeah, and Bidruhi's going to think about this because that, I think, aligns with his personal worldview. So obviously it's convenient for him, but it's also antithetical to what his mother wants from him. And I think he has enough self-awareness to be like, okay, but this thing that's like convenient for me to believe in, is it true? Do I want it to be true because it's convenient? Or at the same time, I'm like second guessing it because it seems too convenient. So I think he's going to think about that. Yep. But not outwardly, because that's some nerd shit.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a kind of thing you keep quiet about. And in order to speed things ahead, Alkader will, after his speech, he will leave you a little bit of information about the assistance he needs. You see, he's going to see Pretty Chandra at an important event, and he has wheedled his way into her inner circle. He did that all the way back when he stole the letter.
Yes, that is what he did, in fact. Yeah.
Yes, and he's going to help her navigate Kagasaranya, and he has an opportunity here to have some time alone with her, during which perhaps Bidruhi can help him sweet talk the lady as she undergoes a complicated process of investigating. Yes, this salmon is tied to something called the King of Lies. The paperwork is all there.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all filed in octuplet even.
Okay. Before the score starts, I have like 8 stress.
There's absolutely stuff going on here, and there's more to find out about what exactly Pretty Chandra is planning. But his plan is to assist her in Kagasaranya, and then as she is waiting, make the moves and try to seduce her. It's a bit odd to try to seduce someone at a bureaucratic office, but I want to point out that Kagasaranya is not necessarily like the DMV. It's not just you sit and wait in an office, right? It's like you go to the district, you file a paperwork, you send the clerk to do something, then you go like sit at a cafe or something.
It's like a whole date.
Yeah, exactly. So his plan is to sneak in a date while they wait for like word from within the system.
I'm going to bankrupt myself finishing a clock, by the way. So I do want to do that before we start the score. That was the first thing. Yeah. But the second thing is we had an entanglement from the last session, which was literally we're going to go to war if we don't give up a claim.
Yes, that is this score.
That
Ooh,
is the
okay.
score, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes, because the thing is, Priti Chandra is looking for Salman, but it's her title you have, so she's going to try to take it back. I thought about whether to frame this as like a different faction, but it just makes sense for me to introduce Priti Chandra as a faction of her own.
yeah,
And I
it
think
makes
she's
sense.
the logical person to try to go for this, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
basically, she's been investigating you. She's been investigating Salman. Now she's found this link because Saida filed both the paperwork for Salman and for
Yes.
you.
Correct.
So
Because I have a
what is
friend
happening?
who's able to do all of this for me, but maybe
Yes.
I'm the weak link. No, that's not allowed. That can't be true. No, don't worry about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Auntie, you're very strong.
Yeah.
You
So
betcha.
how
Yeah.
I'm framing this score is that she is going to attempt to take this claim away from you, but she's going to attempt to do it via the bureaucracy.
Okay.
And if you if you just say no by the rules, you just go to war. But rather, instead, I'm framing this as a score, right? You have
That
the
makes sense.
opportunity to strike at her, and then if things go poorly, maybe you will go to war. That is what is at stake here.
Cool. Okay, I think what Saida's going to do is they are so fucking sick and tired of this demon making every breath tiring, every
Yep.
step tiring, can't swing a goddamn sword without somebody in my ears singing to me about how I need to be learning from it. Fuck it. And now that we have in fact consecrated our training grounds, one day you will see Saida doing a very simple, like a drill that you teach a novice, right? And Saida's just gonna keep doing this over and over again, mostly to establish to this demon that like I'm never giving up. You can't grind me down. It's not gonna happen, right? You may as well just let go, right? So I'm happy. I feel like I don't know if this is like an attune or a skirmish or if like it's a command because I'm telling it. I'm not sure. But what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I think Attune makes the most sense. Probably.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna spend 2 stash. I like my 1 coin, my 1 little red box. So I'm just gonna spend the 2 stash instead. I know it's all fungible,
Okay.
but whatever.
Okay. Sure.
To roll a tune as a fortune, 2 dice. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
It's a 5.
You rolled already. I was going to offer you
Yeah,
a
sorry.
possible devil's bargain, but let's not complicate this further. You've rolled a 5. It's 2 ticks.
You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna spend all of my money. I was intending to do this. To bump this up to 5 ticks, which is the crit, right?
Yep.
And what I wanna what this is Saida is just gonna do this for like 3 days straight.
Okay.
The money is kind of not even. I don't even know whether she's giving it away. Maybe somebody could just like look at her bag and take it even, right? Or maybe it's like paying somebody to come and feed me while I'm doing this. I don't know what it is, but it's like
Yeah. I think the straightforward thing here is it's just like money for the like you have to pay the student to both keep out of your way and like keep you alive, right? You require support throughout this.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
So this finishes your clock, the point of which was to move Samum from yourself into your sash. This is why you made it such a long and complicated project. And that has now succeeded. So you now have a fine demon-edged sash.
Yeah.
That is the outcome of this project, I think. So you are no longer demon-possessed, and you have a demon-edged sash.
Yeah, great. Zoheb, wasn't there a Ghost Blade ability?
You want it?
Does that make sense? One of my weapons is possessed by a ghost. Nope, it's a demon.
Okay. Yeah, let's take
sense,
the
right?
special ability instead then.
Yeah.
Or
well, I mean, I just like the idea of a demon-edged sash, though. That just sounds so cool.
I mean, it's up to you how you want to frame it. If you want to frame it as a special ability or an upgrade to your item, it can be either.
I mean, it basically means that one of your items is a certain way, so it's actually a special item. It's a weird ability.
Right. Okay. Well, I think I will. I'll take the demon-edged sash here.
Yeah. What we just know is that it has potency against the supernatural, which was what the special ability does anyway, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird ability because it doesn't actually give you anything, quote unquote, in a certain way, but it's just fiction. I think it's cool. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's name it the Demon Edge Sash either way, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I love the idea of a demon edge.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that like what'll happen is at the end of the 3 days, like when they finally stop, like Muscles is screaming in agony, and I should have fallen over long before any of this happened. I don't, but I think people who've been watching can see me walking a bit lighter and can see the sash wrap around me a little more tightly.
Yes. And what has happened here, the way the physical transformation here has occurred, is that to anyone who reads Paristo, the old language, they can see that the sash is now engraved with a beautiful love poem to you, because
Yes.
Samum is bound by its love for you.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
is Samum a good poet?
I think Samum is. We established that Samum is elegant, and so I think there is an elegance to the poetry. It's also written in like a dead language, so it's not like a lot of people can read it. But yes, it's. I think what it ends up with is it's good poetry, but it will be very lost in translation, and any translation into modern Hadrati will not capture its essence.
Yeah, makes sense. Great. Yeah, I just wanted to do that.
Indeed.
I'm now completely broke. I have no money whatsoever. Totally worth.
Yes. Very good.
Should I jump in? Unless, yeah, I have some ideas. Unless Mushfiq wants to go first.
All right, so the idea is, what was his name? Preeti Chandra, Alkader's object of interest. I mean, like, is he actually in love with her, or is this some political ploy?
It's a little bit of both. Like,
It's a little
Alkader
bit of
is a complicated man. On the one hand, it's a political ploy because she is a wealthy Ketrisi woman, right? On the other hand, he is enough of a romantic that he is genuinely interested in her. I think this fits Alkader's at the same time straightforward and complicated personality.
All right. Okay. So she's been investigating what happened to the passport, like, or like the deed of nobility, like that she was supposed to get, and she's tracked it down to us.
He hasn't yet, but what she has found is like a connection between this passport and Salman, the Ankayat man that she was thinking of marrying. So basically, what she's doing is she's investigating Saida. And if she can connect the dots, then she will just straight up like go to war with you, essentially.
No, I didn't get like why she's in Kagosrania right now, or why she's going there with Alkader.
So Alkader is going to help her file some document or other, and he is going to basically like try to go on a date with her and distract her from her.
Oh, I
her
see.
work
All right.
investigating.
Okay.
That's more or less his plan, and she is just straight up like very, very close to finding out how the pieces of the puzzle fit together. So how I'm framing this, as I said, is basically she is about to go to war with you, but because of how things turned out, because Saida found out about this and so on, I'm giving you guys an opportunity to interrupt her before she finds out about you and goes to war with you.
Okay.
You know what they say, all's fair in love and war.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is the logical outcome, because I could just say like, okay, give her the deed or go to war. But I think this is a more interesting way to frame it. I hope it's okay with everyone involved.
Yeah. So this, I guess, this kind of espionage kind of stuff isn't really a Mushfiq's. Like, I mean, Ali, right? He's more of the deal with someone at the point of a sword kind of guy. So I'm not entirely sure what it could do to get us on the right foot. I guess what I'm thinking is, how could she link this to us? Because, I mean, we don't know. We don't even know how Alkader got a hold of this thing.
So let's zoom out, and I will actually tell you a little bit about how I'm envisioning this score, because it's not something that you are planning; it's something that I'm throwing at you. So I think it's fair.
All right.
How I'm envisioning it is that obviously Preeti Chandra is not like doing very much work herself. She's going to task someone to go and find out this connection from probably someone tied to Mr. Rohini, because this is, it's not necessarily secrets, but it's complicated and convoluted. So what I'm picturing basically is one of her people is going to try to find out something from Mr. Rohini, and if that person can be stopped, and you can have some time for Mr. Rohini to obfuscate things, then her plan will fail, right? So one of the possible ways to do this is to like surreptitiously kidnap the bureaucrat that's doing the work for her, like her lawyer or something.
Mm.
So yeah, she is going to hire like a lawyer. That lawyer is going to try to piece things together under her supervision. And in the meantime, I imagine Saida can just ask Mr. Rohini, who is your good friend, right, to try to obfuscate this, but it will take time.
Need I even ask who this lawyer is? I say with resignation, knowing who it must be.
There is more than one lawyer in town, and also this lawyer in question may have been run out of town on account of someone and not thinking the consequences fully of their actions, and therefore destroying a key part of the political infrastructure in this town.
Or Hardil Subramanian has fallen on hard times and is
There's
now
no
working
choice
for this lady.
but to take this kind of case. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I
God.
think it's funny. Thank you for the suggestion, Klow. Let's go with it.
Yes.
So, okay, Priti Chandra has hired Hardil Subramanian.
In which case, we absolutely must kidnap him because.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But one thing I want to say is that it seems that we're moving into gather info stuff already,
Yes.
but I'm still not done with downtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's flash back to downtime, and let's also just say, for those of you who haven't listened to season 1, Hardil Subramanian was a lawyer and constant thorn in the crew's side in the first season. So he is back, I guess. Very good. So what else is Bidruhi doing?
Yeah. I have 8 stress. I'm going to indulge vice, which my vice of lovers, provided by Mumtaz.
Yes.
And I think this could be an interesting scene given the situation when we last saw her, where my mom was like, "This lady ain't get Tracy. Make her get Tracy."
Yes.
And now I have had a conversation about what it means to be Tracy. So let's see how this goes.
Okay, absolutely. Do you want it to be like a brief scene then?
Yeah, let's call it a brief scene. Because normally I would have skipped past it, but it feels like there's narrative here. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So make this roll, and I guess you meet her in the chipped cup. Like last time you were down in your quarters, but I think she's reverted to like, let's play this carefully.
Yeah. 4, which means I should do it again because that's not very good.
Okay, so the way you can do it again is by spending a ton of money, which I guess makes sense because I think, and how I'm going to roll this is that Mumtaz will basically just have a suggestion for how to make this date classier. And that's going to cost you.
Yeah, and overindulge.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, in fact, that's why I decided to roll before we do any narration, because the fact that I overindulge is probably going to come into it, right?
Yes. So, you are overindulging in Ash Cloister, so I want to flag that we have written a special rule for this
stream.
Which means that you can choose to be mocked by the local poets. As
Me?
An overindulge. Yes.
Me?
Is Bidruhi's ego going to be able to take this? I need to know. Especially if one of the local poets is also friends with the Blue Smoke Troop.
See, the problem is if the poets start mocking me, then I'm going to get into a rap battle with them, and that we don't have time for that this session.
Yes. So how it works is the crew loses 2 rep unless you make an example of the artist who satirizes you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, rap battle it is.
Maybe we didn't have time for it, but now we do.
Yes.
So, we have time now.
Yes. You were hoping to get some time with Mumtaz to talk about your identity and whatnot.
Yeah.
And what instead happens, I think, is that she is in just an amorous mood, and you guys like pay for a nice dinner, and then she leaves halfway through, and she takes you back to her room and just sweeps you off your feet. Right.
No, we take it in turns sweeping each other off.
Yes. And so where this picks up is when you emerge from her room, and come face to face with another member of the Blue Smoke Troop. I don't think you know this man. He is like small, lithe, elegant, and quite handsome. And
that sounds like the kind of person I'd know.
yes, it's Cherubino, the acrobat on the troop.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, he leans back and says, I was wondering how long it would take you, my friend. If you don't mind. Well, I wanted to have a word with Mumtaz. We actually have some work coming up, but you seem to have fully and wholly distracted her. Or maybe she you. Anyway, I took the liberty of composing some poetry about you and your country while you were away. He says, and he like raises an eyebrow, and he's annoyed with you. Like, you've been distracting Mumtaz from their work. That's the angle here. So it's not that he's jealous. He's just like, God damn it, you're a distraction.
What kind of person is he, so that I know how I'd immediately react to the prospect of him writing poetry about me and my country?
Oh yeah, he's an acrobat and actually a very bad poet. He is a physical performer.
Very good, Cherubino. It's a really rich and lively history, and I am making it richer and livelier, the history, all the time, myself and my friends. So if you have a first draft, I'm very happy to give you feedback. Which is what I assume he's going to do, but I guess that's not the case.
I have described his traits, actually. They are traitorous and childish. So,
oh my God,
childish Cherubino.
Yes.
Very good.
So he takes up his paper, and I guess there is a bit of an audience here. I don't think it's like the full swing of things, but it's a chipped cup. People are always hanging around, so it's like the troop. So he looks down at the paper and he goes, "Mud." And
is that it? Is that the entire poem? Please let this be the entire poem.
Yeah, you know what? That seems fair. He makes a big statement that he's made a poem encapsulating you and your culture's richness, and then he just says the word mud, which is written on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Actually a pretty scathing insult. So
it really is, actually. Yeah, exactly.
This is on a level with the Baldur's Gate 3 bard.
Oh no.
Very good. So your situation is you've had a lovely time with Mumtaz, everything went great, and then her coworker calls you mud. What do you do?
I say, okay. Okay. And then I kind of clear my throat, and I say, childish man called Cherubino comes up to me and he says mud. And I look at him.
No. He cuts you off and he goes, No. I wasn't saying mud, I was reading you a poem. Look, I wrote it down.
Oh,
he turns his paper around and it just says mud. And there's a stick figure of you.
Okay.
He's scrolling some lines on a piece of paper. Yes. Oh, Bidrohi, you're gonna lose us 3 ramp at the rate that this is going.
I said, okay. Yes. So I said, oh, sorry. Okay. Let me try again. Childish man called Cherubino comes up to me and reads me a poem and an incredible likeness of me, and where the word is just mud, and it just is a stick figure of the man called Bidrohi. And I believe this is incredible. It is a real stretch of Cherubino's talents, and I have never seen anything like this from Cherubino. I never thought that he had it in him to stretch his creative chops to this level.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So, are you done? Can we get back to rehearsing? Oh. He looks and he realizes that Mumtaz isn't coming out with you.
No, this was my attempt to destroy him.
Yes.
I don't know if that does anything.
you can roll some sort of action here.
Yeah.
I think.
Sway?
Sure. Yeah.
Consort?
I think sway. Maybe you're swaying the crowd more than him, right? You're trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna be pretty nasty here, but this is Cherubino's turf, so I think that you will have limited effect initially. It's risky limited, and it's limited just because like you can sort of try to like insult him, but I don't think this sort of line
Mm.
just works. I mean, people know that he's childish, right? So it's
Yeah, it's literally in his name. Okay.
Childish.
yeah.
I'm gonna take a stress to assist you.
Okay.
But the assistance here is you have been mocked, derided, insulted by Saida so many times that you know how to make it sting. Right? So this is just like we see, like you think about all of the times she's gone, you idiot, you moron, do you even have a brain? While she's thrashing you with the sash. And you could draw upon this rich wealth of experience now.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Very good. So
In
sway
fact, that's what I'm going to do.
one bonus
I'm going to
dice.
reframe my entire thing, and I'm just going to be like, okay, that was for me, but since I am representing all of Gethris, let me tell you about my friend Auntie Saida and how she would respond to this. And then I'm going to beat the shit out of him with my sword.
Okay.
Oh my
You're
God.
just going to attack. Okay, fair.
No, it's not like a even bruise. Just kind of like I'm just going to kind of like spank him around with the sword.
Okay.
Very good.
So,
Yes.
is this skirmish? I don't know that it is because he's not
I think it's
fighting
finesse.
back.
I think it's finesse.
It's finesse. Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough. You can attempt to finesse him. Okay. Let's call it risky standard then.
Okay.
I think you can do this, and you have a bonus dice. So maybe
Excellent.
you can make an example out of him by smacking him around like Auntie Saida does.
Excellent. Okay, it's 4.
Okay, so there is a risky. So what you do here is you successfully.
Actually, I was going
make
to
an
point this
example
out as well. So this, for some reason, this should be very impressive as well.
Yes, when you perform, yeah, sure, you beat him up. It's very impressive. So you don't lose any rep, is the outcome here,
Yay!
and you do manage to like thrash him and send him running away.
Yay!
But
Boo!
the blue smoke troop were your allies. They no longer are, unless you
Oh
resist
man,
the
that's
consequence.
bad.
And they drop
I'm
from
gonna
3 to
resist.
2.
Yeah, I'm gonna resist if you're not.
Huh?
Hmm.
And I'm happy to. I think that's totally fair. Being the person
Uh-huh.
who gave you the dumb idea to attack these people, I think Saida is out of character. Probably the person who should prevent you from mucking it up.
How is Saida resisting this?
Yeah, I'm not going to resist it.
I'm gonna-
because
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go and straight up apologize. Like, genuinely be like, sorry, that was really dumb. And it's literally because of my influence. I know this for a fact. It's on me. Just as a personal favor to me, please don't, like, blame him and be okay with it. Sorry, my bad.
Very good.
Wow, what a weenie.
I would almost love to make this a scene as well, actually, but let's limit it. Let's have you roll this resistance roll and
I
I'll
think-
quickly narrate.
Insight, prowess, resolve.
I think it's resolve. This is social.
Yeah, willpower. Yeah, okay, that makes it. Okay, and I get a bonus die because I'm protecting.
Yep.
Very good. It's a 5, so I will take 1 stress, which is totally fine.
Okay. So the situation will be thus. You apologize not to Cherubino, who is like a petulant
Some
bastard. He is one of the troop's like more famous members, but he is like a petulant bastard.
Yeah.
However, there is the manager of the Blue Smoke troop who we haven't seen. And I think Saida being Saida and you having connections in the invisible world of the underworld here, the reason this causes you stress is that you actually meet with the manager.
Right.
And you meet him behind a screen because he is elusive and rarely makes his face known. You make your apology to him and he says nothing. But like you apologize to a screen, you see like a silhouette behind it. He blows a puff of smoke on his cigar and he just nods. And this is the scene. So you get to actually meet the shadowy man behind the troop.
Meet is a very interesting way to phrase talking to somebody who didn't say a single word to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna look at Bidruhi and I'm just gonna shake my head and walk away because I mean to some extent it is my fault. So I better man up.
The one piece of interesting information you learn here is like a mystery that's been with you is like, how did this crew of random performers even find out about a book of occult and ancient plays? This man is why.
Yes, this makes sense.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah.
So you have now learned of his existence, pretty much.
Yes. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shall we quickly do some gather info and then head into the score, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I've done my gather info. So you should, it should be the two of you who do yours, because I've already surveyed the priests and found out like some of the stuff that's happening. So I don't want to.
I'm going to gather some info here. So out of character, we've decided that the lawyer is Hardale, right? But in character, we don't know that. So my gather info isn't to find out the information we already have. It's going to be like Vidra is going to go out and he's going to ask around about this lawyer. And that's how he's going to find out about Hardale. But on top of that, mechanically, I want some extra information about this guy. Like, you know, where is he? Where can we find him? That sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
So fortune roll, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have any particular contacts who would come in. Okay, I have an idea. Like, you can tell me if it works or not. I want to bring in my contact, Tum Durji, a tailor.
Yep.
Because lawyers need suits. Yes.
Lawyers need suits.
Oh, I see. You wanna do investigation on his clothing. What an incredible Bidrohi decision. I love this.
Yes, I don't think Tumdurji is the guy who supplies his suits, but sure, he knows about the fellow. He has seen him about. Maybe he knows his tailor. So sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's the secret tailor brotherhood.
Yep. Yes, Tumdurji is not your favorite contact.
No.
So you can take a bonus die from him, and the consequence here will not be that Tumdurji asks anything back from you. It will be you will learn some information you maybe wouldn't like. So let's frame it this way.
Okay. Bonus dice.
Oh, it's
critical.
Excellent.
See? Wow. So it turns people are like, Tum Durji, how can he help us?
Yes.
No.
So it turns out Hardale is very vain. I want to point out that the bonus that you got from Tum Durji was a 2. So it's but anyway.
Yes.
He is your venue into this. And so, what is Tum Durji like? What is this? Is he like an old man, a young man? What's his flavor?
He's an old man who dresses in he's Iruvian, Uduashan, but he's an old man who dresses in very colorful accuracy styles. Like, you know, he's got an accuracy waistcoat, he's got like a bright pink hat, but like it doesn't look garish, it looks really cool. And the entire vibe is like, you know, really, really dapper. And he'll do you clothes of like any nationality, any sort of heritage. Like, you know, he's chosen the clothes that fit him, the aesthetic, but it's not like he specializes in accuracy clothes.
Yeah, makes sense.
And his
what you're describing is basically a sapeur. Is my
yes. And I think his personality is that he is very opinionated, very irascible, but not at all conservative. He's like a maverick.
Yeah, makes sense. So you come into his shop and you ask this question and he grins at you and he says, yeah, Bidrohi, my young friend. Of course I know of Hardale Subramanian. Yeah, vain guy, particularly about his briefcases. You know, he gets them custom made by a trapsmith. People talk in the tailoring business, you know, he had it in to make sure it matched his suit and no one was allowed to touch it. I asked around a little bit because I was curious. You know, a bag, it's really important, complements your style. Yeah.
You think I should have a bag?
Well, with this outfit, no. But you know, if you were doing something a bit more formal, nice briefcase might do you good. Hang on, I'll write you down where Hardale gets his suits, where he gets his glasses, and where he gets his briefcases. Oh, and for good measure, his trapsmith. Why not? In case you need any stylish traps.
Very important, Tumdurji sir. whenever people are skulking around and then they have their foot caught in the bear trap and they're like, oh my god, no, my foot is gone. At least they'll be like, that trap is looking pretty sick though.
Yeah, that's how you get them, you see. It's the same with traps as with everything else. Style and substance, they're all just one thing. Here you go. And he slides over a paper where he's listed all of.
He has no interest in clothing now. Yes.
This charming old man gives you all the information of all of Hardil's suppliers for everything he wears, which he figured out because apparently Hardil's style is cool and he got curious. So that's why he knows.
Hoisted by his own petard.
Tumdorji sir, you know that in all my battles and all my endeavors, I am wearing you all the time. And people are taking notice.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt you to mention it once in a while to the crowds, or have that guy,
Okay.
your friend do it.
Okay. Next time, sir, I will yell your name. And I'm going to do it.
Yeah, he waggles his eyebrows and he says, well, I appreciate that. And hey, next time you come by, let me give you some advice on pocket squares. They're all the rage now.
So, I nod.
Yes.
I nod, very much looking forward to finding out what a pocket square is.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Any chance of you getting a sponsorship deal with this guy?
Totally.
God. That's what my little something on the side will eventually be if I get it.
Yes.
So the negative consequence of this is that you learn that Hardil has traps, but since you rolled a critical hit, you know a lot about them. You know all of his suppliers.
Excellent.
And I think that's about the reasonable information you can find out from this vector. Like, not really what Hardil does. There is one other piece of information which I think you would be able to figure out on your own. Just because we established it way back in season 1. The reason that your father went after the Chakraborty family and the reason your father died was because they arranged with Hardil for the Ketrisi to take humiliating jobs in a glass blowing factory.
Oh,
That is true.
So Hardil has been like a supplier of jobs for the Ketrisi when he was doing better, and they were shit jobs. So
Hardil is a racial enemy. Good.
Well, if nothing else, he was an enemy of your dad. If that counts.
No, he's a racial enemy.
Okay, fair. Frame it that way if you want.
Not that he's racist.
Yep.
But he's no, absolutely. Just because he's a racial enemy doesn't mean he's a racist. It just means he's an enemy of our race. Question mark.
Sure. That makes sense.
That's definitely how that works.
Yeah, he's like, look, I have nothing against the Ketrisi. Some of my best friends are Ketrisi.
No, they aren't.
Yeah. No, here we are. None of his best friends are Ketrisi. I can tell you this for a fact.
Well, one of his best clients is Ketrisi at the moment, actually.
That is
although
true.
she is Ketrisi nobility. So, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
They just happen to be on opposite sides of a deal,
Yeah.
It's just business.
Yeah. So I gave all of you an exhaustive list of like all the places that Hardil likes to frequent, and I mentioned the traps and also where the trap maker is. And
All right.
that's up to you guys.
Very good.
Okay, so this is good because I think what Mushbi can do is, if we know where he frequents, I'm gonna try to tail this guy to find out. What I want to try to find out is where's a good place to actually, get, like, does he go anywhere? Can I tail him for a bit and see that okay, this is a good place to take him off the street?
Okay, you want to look for a good place to ambush him as he goes about this business of so it has to be in Kagasaranya, I guess, because that's where it is. But fair enough.
So what you're saying is you want to be his tailor.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm
laughing so hard. Can you tell? Oh my god. Sorry, please don't.
I'm gonna stitch him up real good.
Oh,
Does it work? Does it work as a thing?
Yes, it does. Okay, good.
Okay. What am I rolling? Prowl, I guess, because I'm.
Makes sense. You're prowling him.
Yeah, risky standard. All right. Oh, okay. 4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. So you get a reasonably good opportunity. I think we're framing this as like how good an opportunity do you get? And so we established in the last season about Hardil that he is a forward-thinking fellow who is a member of some civilized and posh societies, or at least he was. And I think that in Kagasranya there is a Severosi pub called the Tirmor Arms. I think with a 4, what you find out is that he has to wait too. It's not just his client that has to wait. And so what you find out is he likes to pop in there to like talk to some contacts or whatever. And it's a rowdy pub, so it's not like an ideal place to nab him. But you know, this Kagasranya is a fairly well monitored and managed district. But in this pub, there are, you know, some drunks. There's the occasional bar brawl. There's the occasional, you know, stuff going on. And so nowhere in Uduasha is perfectly private. But in there, you could probably get away with, you know, spiriting him away under the guise of a bar brawl, or setting up some sort of distraction, or possibly just nabbing him in the bathrooms.
All right, yeah. And having him in the bathroom sounds perfect. We'll catch him with his pants down again.
Yes.
Oh.
Indeed. So
how are you doing psychic damage to me even after I finish running that campaign? I don't know.
Yes, very good. You introduced this NPC tree. Now you can.
Yeah, I know I did. I know.
We loved him so much, we want to keep him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he will be probably what is the case is actually I think what Mushfik finds out that he will probably have some sort of meeting in the Tirmor Arms with some of the bureaucrats, because again, Kagasranya is not very well organized, and a lot of the bureaucracy just hinges on you need personal meetings with people. You need, you know, connections is like half of the game, right? So
you gotta know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, I think in fact probably what he will be doing in the Tirmor Arms is bribing someone with beer. I think this is why he frequents the place. It's
very good.
All right. So here's how Mushfik's thinking about it. That all right, we need to nab this person in the bathroom. So to do that, we need to get him in the bathroom, which means he needs to have a lot of drinks. So maybe Bidrohi can pretend to be a client, or you know, like a would-be client. Start talking with this man. Make sure he drinks a lot and really needs to go. And that's where I'll, you know, and then I'll wait until he drops his pants and then kidnap him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to wait until somebody drops their pants to kidnap them. Definitely.
Yeah, that makes it harder for him to run away. There's something weird about this.
Okay.
Tree.
Oh, yeah.
Shankarabharanam, you and I need to talk.
Look,
When has that not been true?
I know you're trying to meet a new man, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
It's
I
just
also
not
want to point
the way.
out that there's nothing weird at all about Sherikatham's plan of just lurking in the bathroom until Hardil gets there. That's also perfectly normal.
I'm just picturing this as any, like, you know, washroom at the back of a pub where there's a few stalls and some urinals.
No,
So I'm just gonna be,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be in one of the stalls for I don't know hours.
Yes.
It's like,
Fair.
okay, I feel really nervous in a bathroom and the pee just doesn't come out. Okay,
Yeah.
don't rush the process.
I was gonna make that joke.
Here close the doors to the house of endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Zoheb, Soumithri, called Tree, and Emma. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha. This time on Desperate Attune.
You know, you've been really calm about all this. Like, you know, thanks a lot. You know, this went way better than I thought it would.
Don't admit that to him.
Huh?
Yeah. And he says, yes, there would have been other approaches. I assume you're after the contents of my briefcase.
I'm going to level with you, Hardil. I don't know why I'm here. They just told me that you were going to cause some trouble for us, so, you know, it was an off day for me, so I'm here. Yeah.
Well, in that case, I have a proposal, he says calmly. And he just says, if you do not know why you're here, and truthfully, I don't know why I'm here, how about I just give you 4 coin and we'll call it even, and I walk out of here and go about my business.